In the sun-scorched plains of Africa, where the horizon stretches endlessly and the air shimmers with heat, a new chapter was about to unfold. A story was whispered on the wind, a tale of destiny, of a lion who would not only rule, but redefine what it truly meant to be king. The land itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for change. This was not just another powerful male destined for a fleeting reign, nor a ruler who would fade into the background of history. This was the dawn of a legend, Simba. His name would soon echo across the plains, carried by the morning breeze. Simba's arrival was quiet, almost humble, but his presence was undeniable. Even the oldest animals sensed a shift in the air. His mane glowed like burnt gold in the rising sun, and his eyes held a rare intelligence, a spark of curiosity and wisdom beyond his years. Unlike other lions who ruled through fear and brute strength, Simba observed, learned, and understood the intricate web of life connecting all creatures. He watched the herds, the predators, and the smallest insects, piecing together the balance of the savanna. He saw the old ways failing, the cracks in the traditions of dominance, and envisioned a kingdom built on cooperation, family, and respect for every living being. His presence sent ripples across the land. Hyenas grew cautious, sensing a new force rising, one that would not be easily challenged. Prey animals, too, sensed a new kind of predator, one who hunted with purpose, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity and understanding. Simba commanded respect, not terror. His authority was felt in the way he moved, the way he looked at the world around him. His strength was matched by a calm, calculating gaze, always assessing, always thinking several steps ahead. He was a king who thought before he acted, weighing the consequences of every decision, every step he took. A leader who saw the bigger picture, who understood that true power came from unity, not division. The legends of the past spoke of conquest and dominance, of kings who ruled with an iron paw. But Simba's story would be one of creation and endurance, of building something lasting for generations to come. He was building a society, not just claiming land. His vision was of harmony, not just survival. From the very first day, it was clear the savannah had found a leader unlike any other, a king who would inspire hope and change. The age of Simba had begun, and the wild was about to change forever. The dawn of a new king had arrived, and with it, a new era for all who called the savannah home. Simba embodied majesty and might, sculpted by nature to rule. His size and dark mane deterred challengers, but his true power lay in his sharp intelligence. He was a master strategist, studying the herds and planning every hunt with precision. Simba led with fairness, recognizing the strengths of each pride member. He orchestrated the pride like a conductor, ensuring unity and efficiency. Rival males quickly learned he was more than a fighter, he was a tactician. Violence was rare. His reputation alone kept threats at bay. Simba's leadership was revolutionary. He ensured cubs and mothers ate first, cementing loyalty. His selflessness fostered security and prosperity within the pride. Simba was not just a dominant male, he was a true patriarch, investing in his family's future. Simba knew a king's strength came from the family he built. He chose his lionesses carefully, valuing intelligence, loyalty, and nurturing spirit. The lionesses were partners, not followers, co-architects of his dynasty. Their teamwork in hunting was unmatched, allowing them to take down formidable prey. Beyond the hunt, they raised cubs communally, creating a safe, nurturing environment. Simba fostered mutual respect, listening to his lionesses and valuing their instincts. This was a radical shift from the typical pride where males ruled absolutely. By empowering his lionesses, Simba created a resilient, intelligent pride. Their loyalty was earned through wisdom, not just strength. The pride became an oasis of peace and continuity, free from the turmoil of constant takeovers. Lionesses focused on raising strong, healthy cubs. The result, a generation of lions raised in stability, learning advanced strategies and cooperation. Simba's greatest achievement was building a thriving society on the strength of its matriarchs. Simba's rule was defined by innovation, blending ancient instincts with new approaches to leadership. He practiced proactive defense, patrolling his territory daily and marking boundaries with his roar, sending a clear message to rivals and allies alike. These patrols were about gathering information, not just intimidation. Simba read the land, tracking scents, listening for distant calls, and noting every subtle change. He revolutionized hunting, orchestrating ambushes and using terrain to the pride's advantage. Every hunt became a lesson in teamwork and strategy. Simba often took the most dangerous role, facing down powerful prey to protect his pride and ensure their success. This strategy meant larger, more frequent kills and less internal conflict. The pride grew stronger, well-fed, and united by shared victories. Family unity was another cornerstone. He maintained harmony, intervened in disputes, and reinforced social bonds through grooming and play. A united pride was his secret weapon, stronger than any individual. Together, they faced threats and shared in every triumph. Simba's vision extended beyond the present. He invested in the future by protecting cubs and teaching leadership, ensuring the next generation would be ready. His sons and daughters learned the art of survival and governance, practicing skills under his watchful eye. Simba's reign was a masterclass in leadership, not domination. He led by example, inspiring loyalty and respect. He built a dynasty, preparing his heirs for the challenges ahead, and ensuring the pride's legacy would endure. His strategies ensured the pride didn't just survive, they thrived, growing in number and strength with each passing season. Simba's blueprint changed what it meant to be a lion king, setting a new standard for generations to come. A king's legacy is measured by his successors, and Simba's was unmatched. His reign was not just about power, but about the wisdom and compassion he instilled in those who would follow him. The story of his kingdom did not end with his rule. It truly began with the next generation. Cubs raised in his pride were stronger, smarter, and more cooperative than any before. They grew up in an environment where learning and unity were valued above all else, and every lesson was a building block for the future. They learned from their parents' advanced strategies and compassionate leadership. The cubs watched as their elders worked together, not just to hunt, but to care for one another, forging bonds that would last a lifetime. Simba's sons were raised as brothers, not rivals, allowed to mature under his protection. Instead of being forced apart by competition, they were encouraged to support each other, building trust and loyalty that would serve them well beyond their youth. When they left, they became confident leaders, spreading Simba's principles across the savanna. Each step they took into the unknown was guided by the values they had learned at home, and they carried the spirit of their father with them. These young males formed coalitions, taking over new prides through strategy, not just strength. Their ability to work together set them apart, and their reputation for fairness and intelligence quickly spread. They protected their cubs and chose lionesses wisely, creating stable, thriving families. Their prides became models of harmony, where every member had a role and every cub was given a chance to flourish. Simba's influence rippled outward, transforming once chaotic territories into pockets of order. The savanna, once marked by constant struggle, now saw stretches of peace and cooperation. Other prides began to adopt his methods, shifting the culture of lions across the region. The changes were subtle at first, but soon, the benefits of Simba's approach became impossible to ignore. The sight of cubs eating first or brothers ruling together became more common. These new traditions fostered a sense of unity and respect that echoed through every pride touched by Simba's legacy. Simba's legacy was a movement, changing the very nature of lion society. What began as one king's vision had become a revolution, reshaping the destiny of his kind. He had launched a quiet revolution, carried in the blood and behavior of his descendants. The future of the savanna was forever changed as Simba's heirs continued to write the next chapter of his remarkable kingdom. Simba's reign was hard-won, tested by constant threats. Rival males challenged his rule, leading to brutal confrontations. Simba bore the scars of battle, each one a testament to his courage. The wild itself was perilous. Buffalo, crocodiles, snakes, and hyenas all posed daily dangers. He remained ever vigilant, protecting his pride from every threat. Losses weighed heavily on him, but he led with stoic grace. Human encroachment brought new dangers, shrinking territory, snares, and conflict. Simba taught his pride to avoid humans, adapting to a changing world. Despite immense pressure, his resolve never wavered. Each challenge only strengthened his leadership and the pride's loyalty. Simba was more than a king. He was a guardian, shielding his family from the world's dangers. His reign was a testament to the fortitude required to rule in Africa's wild heart. Simba's influence reached beyond his pride, shaping the entire ecosystem. As a keystone predator, he maintained balance by controlling herbivore populations. By targeting the weak and sick, he kept prey herds healthy and strong. His presence kept hyena numbers in check, preserving the natural hierarchy. This balance allowed smaller predators to thrive and prevented overgrazing. The landscape flourished, grasslands recovered, and biodiversity increased. Carcasses from the pride's kills fed countless scavengers, supporting the food web. Simba was an ecosystem engineer, his stable rule fostering equilibrium. Unlike chaotic reigns, his leadership created a resilient, healthy environment. His legacy was not just a dynasty but a thriving, balanced savanna. Simba's fame soon reached beyond the animal kingdom. Safari guides and filmmakers were captivated by his unique leadership and family stability. His story spread through photographs and documentaries, making him a global icon. Images of Simba, majestic, wise, and nurturing, became symbols of the wild. Tourists flocked to see him, boosting conservation efforts and local economies. Guides chronicled his life, turning him into a living legend. Simba became an ambassador for his species, inspiring a deeper connection to wildlife. His presence brought attention and protection to his habitat. Through charisma and story, Simba became a guardian of the wild. He inspired a generation to care for lions and the places they call home. As Simba aged, his legacy was already immortal. He spent his final days surrounded by the pride he built, his life's work evident in every member. The principles he established, cooperation, strategy, family, became the pride's permanent inheritance. His sons and descendants formed stable, resilient prides, better equipped for modern challenges. Simba's leadership became a new model for survival. His story is now a modern fable told across the world. He is remembered as a wise king who led with heart, not fear. Simba's pride became an idea: strength and unity, power and nurturing, greatness and peace. His legacy lives on in the roar of his descendants and the winds of the savannah. Simba, the lion who changed the game, left a paw print on the world that will never fade. Every king has a beginning. Simba's journey began alone. Cast out from the world he knew, stripped of his birthright, he was a ghost on the plains. No pride, no territory, just hunger and the shadow of death. He was a prince with no kingdom, a nomad in the unforgiving African savannah. This is not a tale of inherited glory, but of survival and ambition forged in hardship. We follow Simba from exile to legend, a king whose roar would one day echo across the plains. For a young, prideless male, the world is perilous and lonely. Each day is a test of survival, and every night brings new uncertainty. There is no comfort, no safety net, only the vast, indifferent wilderness. Simba, barely more than a cub, was thrust into exile, forced to survive on the fringes. The warmth of his family was replaced by the cold reality of isolation, and the lessons of the wild began immediately. Every sound was a threat, every step, a risk. The rustle of grass could mean danger, and the wind carried the scent of both predator and prey. He moved like a whisper, using gullies and scrub for cover, always a fugitive. The landscape itself became both his shield and his prison. The sun beat down mercilessly, and nights brought new dangers. The darkness was alive with unseen threats, and the heat of day sapped his strength. His world shrank to water, shelter, and the next meal. Each resource was precious, and competition was fierce. Starvation drove him to hunt the small and weak, tortoises, fledglings, scraps left by others. Hunger was a constant companion, shaping his every move. He became a master scavenger, patient and watchful, hoping for a single scrap to keep him alive. Sometimes a single bone meant the difference between life and death. Danger was constant: a charging elephant, a sudden stampede, or a rival predator lurking nearby. Lurking crocodiles, each encounter a harsh lesson. The rivers, once a source of life, became places of peril. Sometimes he found brief alliances with other outcasts, but these partnerships were fleeting. Trust was rare, and betrayal could come at any moment. The nomadic life was solitary, forging his character in hardship. He learned patience, strategy, and ruthless efficiency, skills that would one day serve him well. His ribs showed, his mane was patchy, but inside, resilience grew. Each scar was a badge of survival, each hardship a lesson in endurance. Every day survived was a victory, every meal, a triumph. Even the smallest success was hard-won and deeply savored. Watching the great prides from afar, he saw everything he lacked, and ambition began to burn. The sight of others thriving fueled his determination. The years of wandering were his education, mapping every waterhole and trail for a future war. The land became his silent teacher, revealing its secrets to the patient and the desperate. He was no longer just a lion, he was a survivor, a master of the margins. The boundaries of his world were drawn by hardship and necessity. The loneliness and hunger shaped him into something formidable. He became a creature of instinct and willpower, honed by adversity. He learned the land as a rebel, not a king. Every step was a lesson in survival, every path a memory of struggle. Every hardship was a lesson, every scar a memory. The pain of exile became the foundation of his strength. In the crucible of exile, Simba's ambition was born. The fire inside him grew brighter with each passing day. The nomad was preparing for something greater. In the silence of the wild, a future king was quietly forged. The nomadic years gave way to ambition. Simba was now a contender, no longer content to simply survive. The hunger in his eyes was matched only by the fire in his heart. His body, once gaunt, was now lean and powerful, his mane thickening, a sign of maturity. Each muscle told a story of struggle and adaptation, of a young lion growing into his prime. He shadowed established prides, not as a scavenger, but as a strategist. Every movement was calculated, every step, a lesson in patience and observation. Weeks of observation taught him the routines of lionesses, the weaknesses of kings. He learned when to approach and when to disappear, blending into the background. He learned to read the signs of a pride's health, to spot cracks in the king's armor. The smallest limp, a missed meal, or a moment of distraction could reveal opportunity. Direct challenges were suicide, patience was his weapon. He became a master of waiting, letting time and circumstance work in his favor. He tested borders, left scent marks, and retreated, gauging responses. Each encounter was a test, a way to measure the resolve of those who ruled. A misstep left him scarred, a lesson in caution. The savanna was unforgiving, and every wound was a reminder of the risks he faced. He studied pride dynamics, looking for stress and division. Discord among the lionesses or tension with the king could tip the balance in his favor. His knowledge of the land, gained in exile, became a strategic advantage. He knew every watering hole, every hidden path, and every place to disappear. He watched how kings dealt with rivals and hyenas, learning from their mistakes and truces. The politics of the savanna were as complex as any battle. His own power grew, his roar deepened, his presence became undeniable. Other lions began to take notice, sensing the shift in the balance of power. He practiced his roar at dawn, a promise of the king he would become. Each morning his voice echoed farther, a challenge to all who heard it. The struggle for power was silent, fought in patience and calculation. It was a game of shadows, where only the most cunning would prevail. Simba was no longer an outsider, he was a shadow waiting to strike. Every day brought him closer to the moment he would step into the light. Every lesson, every scar, was preparation for the moment to come. The pain of the past had forged him into a lion ready for the future. He was a student of power, the savanna his classroom. Every sunrise brought new challenges, and every sunset, new wisdom. The time for action was drawing near. The lessons of patience and strategy would soon be put to the ultimate test. Simba was ready to seize his destiny. The savanna held its breath, sensing the coming storm. The silent war was almost over. Soon the king would be decided and the savanna would witness a new era. Simba's moment arrived quietly, a pride with an aging, wounded king. He watched, waited, and tested the defenses, leaving his scent as a challenge. The old king's roar was weak, the pride restless and vulnerable. Simba chose his moment, the hottest part of the day when the king was alone. He approached silently, the wind in his favor. The old king, surprised and fearful, rose to face him. The battle was brutal, youth against experience, hunger against legacy. Simba used agility and strategy, targeting the king's injured leg. The fight was a test of stamina. The sun sapped their strength. The turning point, the old king faltered, and Simba seized his chance. He drove the king to the ground, a raw display of power. There was no mercy. Defeat meant exile. Simba's roar echoed across the plains, announcing a new reign. The pride had a new king, his rule won in blood and dust. The old king, broken, walked the path of exile Simba once knew. Simba stood victorious, his wounds proof of the battle. This was not just a victory, it was a transformation. The nomad had become a ruler, the savanna had a new order. Simba's reign had begun, the legend was now reality. The king had claimed his throne. Victory was only the beginning. Holding the throne was the true test. The savanna was unforgiving, and every day brought new challenges to his rule. Simba patrolled his new territory relentlessly, marking every border with determination, making his presence known to all who dared approach. The lionesses watched, their allegiance uncertain, waiting to see if Simba could truly lead and protect them. He earned their respect through action, driving off hyenas, protecting the pride from every threat, proving his strength and resolve. His rule brought security. The pride flourished under his watch, growing stronger and more united with each passing day. The harsh reality: to secure his legacy, Simba eliminated the cubs of his predecessor, a difficult but necessary act in the wild. Soon the pride was filled with his own offspring, playful cubs that carried his bloodline and promise for the future. He became not just a ruler but a father and protector, nurturing the next generation with both strength and care. His ferocity shielded his young. Any threat was met with swift aggression, ensuring the safety of his family. The pride grew stronger, the lionesses more successful in their hunts, bringing back food for all to share. Simba's role was to provide safety, not to hunt, but to ensure prosperity and stability for his pride. His reign brought stability and abundance, a time of peace and plenty for all members of the pride. As his strength grew, he expanded his territory, intimidating rivals and claiming the best lands for his family. His reputation spread. Other lions and hyenas kept their distance, wary of his growing power. He ruled with confidence, using violence only to maintain order and protect the harmony of the pride. Even at rest he was alert, the calm center of his world, always ready to defend what he had built. Being king was more than fighting. It was providing, protecting, presiding and guiding his pride through every season. Simba mastered the art of leadership, earning his place daily through wisdom, courage, and compassion. The once desperate nomad was now a true king, respected and admired by all who saw him. His kingdom was built on strength, strategy, and relentless vigilance, a testament to his enduring spirit. The pride thrived under his rule, growing in number and confidence, secure in their future. Simba's legacy was taking shape, a story of transformation, resilience, and the making of a king. Simba's transformation was profound, written on his body and in his actions. The gaunt nomad was gone, replaced by a magnificent, muscular king. His mane, once sparse, was now thick and dark, a crown of power. Scars marked his face, each a testament to battles survived. His eyes, once anxious, now radiated calm authority. His roar was deep and earth-shaking, a declaration of dominance. He walked with a majestic stride, every movement confident. Other animals gave him a wide berth. He was a living landmark. For the herds, he was a constant threat. For his pride, a protector. His cubs saw him as a mountain of safety. This physical metamorphosis mirrored his internal journey. The survivor had become a ruler, absorbing the power of the land. The sun now seemed to crown him, the wind carried his scent. Simba the nomad was dead. Simba the king reigned. He embodied the savanna's creed. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Strength, wielded with intelligence, had forged his crown. He was the symbol of power earned, not given. The legend was now flesh and blood. In the savannah, most kings are forgotten, but Simba's story endures. His journey proves true power isn't inherited, it's earned through adversity. Alone and exiled, he survived where most perished. Simba's patience, intelligence, and relentless will turned hardship into strength. Hunger taught him patience, danger sharpened his mind. He learned, adapted, and waited. His victory was no accident. His reign carried the weight of struggle. He ruled with the tenacity of one who knew loss. Scars told of battles endured, his mane of triumph. He was not born a king, he became one through fight and cunning. His roar was more than a claim, it was a declaration of indomitable will. From exile to emperor, Simba's journey is a blueprint for greatness. He stands as a symbol. Greatness is not a gift but a conquest. His legacy is not of lineage but of will. The savannah remembers those who seize their destiny. Simba's story is a testament to resilience and ambition. He reminds us the throne is won, not given. His legend will echo long after his roar fades. The king's journey is the savannah's greatest truth. From exile to emperor, Simba's journey is a blueprint of determination turned into dominance. His story reminds us that adversity forges true strength. Simba's throne was not inherited, it was conquered. Every scar was a lesson, every roar a victory. His legacy lives on in the pride, the land, and the respect he commanded. Simba's rise is more than a lion's tale. It's a universal story of struggle and triumph. The greatest kingdoms are not found, but forged.